For this video, I did a lot of research that business science or a Bachelor of Commerce in Actuarial Science specializing in quantitative finance. Oh my god, that is a lot to say. What I would say was the hardest course for me in first year. I hated financial risk. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you are new, please do not forget to click that like button around here. We like the video before we watch it, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the content that I post. I'll definitely be back with some more videos. Anyways, as you can see by the title, today I'm going to be filming a how to get into actuarial science video. This is a video that has been highly requested, especially by my A-level and matric subscribers, people that watch me that are still doing A-level and matric or AS level and still want to, potentially get into actuarial science, or they're planning on applying for actuarial science. I'm here with the video on how to do it. So yeah, if you are definitely interested, or if actuarial science is the path that you're thinking about taking, definitely stay tuned. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start by talking about actuarial science, as in what is actuarial science. I know a lot of people don't actually understand what the degree actually entails. I might actually do a separate video on that if I've got enough stuff to say about what actuarial science actually entails, but I'll just give you a brief background on what the degree actually has and what you can do with an actuarial science degree. So actuarial science is basically a mathematical discipline that applies mathematics and statistics into insurance, calculation of risk, and stuff like that. It's very mathematically based, so I wouldn't suggest or advise someone to do actuarial science if they haven't done mathematics in high school, especially if they haven't done matric maths or A-level maths, but we'll get into that later on in the video. But that's just a brief background on what XI is. If you do want to go and do your own research on XI, I think there's a couple of YouTube videos now that are up. Before, when I was applying, I couldn't really find any YouTube videos about someone who's studying XI, someone who's doing like a day in the life of an XI student. Like, that's why I decided to actually start my channel, because I couldn't find those type of videos. So I hope that this stuff is actually helpful to those of you that want to apply for XI. But yeah, I definitely did my research for this video. I did a lot of research that I wanted to know when I was applying for XI. If you don't know, I am studying actuarial science at UCT. So yeah, this video is going to be mainly based on UCT, which is in South Africa. I think it applies to Stellenbosch and UWC, or the other universities in SA, and maybe across the globe as well. I think the requirements are just the same. It's just like a very competitive degree to get into, so I think the requirements are almost the same across the globe. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what types of degrees there are in actuarial science, because there's different types of degrees. If you didn't know that, you're not just going to apply straight to do actuarial science as a degree. You can either choose between a BCom or a BBasci, which is a Bachelor in Commerce and a Bachelor of Business Science. So I'm specializing in I chose the route of a Bachelor in Business Science. A Bachelor of Business Science in Actuarial Science is 4 years, and then a Bachelor of Commerce in Actuarial Science is 3 years. So the difference between a Bachelor of Business Commerce and a Bachelor in Business Science is that with a Bachelor of Commerce, you have to do 3 years, and then you do a 4th year, which will be a diploma in actuarial science. And then as for me, I think I'm just doing a Bachelor in Business Science, which means that diploma is kind of entailed in the degree. I don't have to apply again to do a diploma for the 4th year. So I guess if you want to just do 3 years of university and then graduate, you can do a BCom. If you want to do your 4 years and get that 4th year of diploma, you can just do a Bachelor in Business Science. I would definitely recommend you going into a Bachelor in Business Science if you're planning on doing XI. I think it's just you get more skills in the 4th year. You're just more employable than doing a Bachelor in Commerce. So yeah, and then there's a Bachelor in business commerce and a bachelor in commerce and a bachelor in business science on actuarial science, specializing in quantitative finance. So I'm not going into the quantitative finance route, so I can't lie and say that I know everything that quantitative financial analysts do, but you can definitely go and research if you want to become a quant. If that's something that you wanted to do, but you also want the skills of being an actuary, you can definitely apply for a bachelor in business science or a bachelor of commerce in actuarial science, specializing in quantitative finance. Oh my god, that is a lot to say. Anyways, okay, yeah, so quantitative finance, I just googled it. It says is the use of mathematical models and extremely large data sets to analyze financial markets and securities. Blah 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 blah. That didn't even go into my head. Anyways, yeah, so that's what it is. But if you want to definitely research into becoming a quant, it's also a very good route to choose if you don't want to just become an actuary. But yeah, that's also an option that UCT gives you. Then we've also got actuarial science conversion course and advanced diploma in actuarial science. I think that's the 4th year thing that I was talking about. Yeah, you've also got that. You've got it's like a course. I think that's either in your 4th year or that's something that you can do for first 2 years. I'm not sure. That's something you can definitely research on the UCT website. I'm not sure if I'm gonna link them. UCT better run me my coin for doing this video because I'm really plugging them. Anyways, yeah, so that's definitely something else you can do. So there's the Bachelor of BCom in Actuarial Science, Bachelor in Business Science and Actuarial Science, Bachelor of BCom in Actuarial Science, specializing in quantitative finance, Bachelor of Business Science and Actuarial Science, specializing in quantitative finance. Then the BCom is 3 years, the Business Science is 4 years, and I would recommend you to do the business science. That's my personal opinion. That is the one that I'm also doing. Okay, right, so let's just jump into the requirements that you need to get into actuarial science. That's the biggest thing for you if you're an A-level student or a matric student right now and you're thinking about getting into actuarial science and you're about to write your A-level exams or your matric exams. This is the biggest thing, the most crucial thing for you to focus on, because let me tell you one thing about XI, it is a very competitive degree. Not everyone can get into actuarial science, so if you think that you can just get in with mediocre results, it will not work out for you. You need to definitely be grinding and pushing to try to get the best results that you can if you want to do XI. So let's just look at the general requirements for XI. I think these are standard across the world. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it gets any lower than this, especially for American universities. If you want to go to Ivy League universities, if you want to go to Russell Group universities in Australia, if you don't know what Russell Group is and Ivy League is, those are like things like Harvard, Yale, Oxford University in the UK. Those are the the top universities in the world. I don't think it gets any lower than these requirements, but these are just the requirements that are at UCT. I did research the requirements at UCT. So first requirement, of course, is going to be mathematics. You cannot get into actuarial science if you don't have maths. If you're not doing maths in high school right now, I think if you're doing arts or like maybe history, language, and you want to get into XI, I don't know, maybe they might accept, but I think considering the competitiveness of the degree, I don't think that you can actually get into XI without mathematics. So if you are going into A-level next year, or if you are planning on going to your matric next year, just definitely, if you want to go down the route of actuarial science, I think medicine, engineering, those type of technical type of degrees, you definitely need to have mathematics as your core. I wouldn't, even if you want to go into actuarial science or a technical degree and you haven't done mathematics, I would not advise you to do it. XI especially, I would not advise you to do it if you haven't done matric maths or A-level maths. That is just my personal opinion, because it is a very hectic degree. It is it's very tiresome. It's very mathematically based, and you will hate your university life if you're starting from zero and you've never done maths in high school. The requirements at UCT, and I think across the globe as well, are an 80% for mathematics. To pass mathematics with at least 80% on the National Senior Certificate, which I think in South Africa is matric, which would be an equivalent to A-level. So that's an 80% in maths. of which it's very high. I'm not gonna lie. I think other degrees require 60% in maths, but that just goes to show the amount of maths that you're going to be doing. You need to be able to have passed maths with an 80%, because the further maths that you're going to do in your 4 years of university is going to be extremely hectic, to the point that if you don't understand the basic stuff that you learned in A level, it's going to be very difficult for you to apply in university. So yeah, you need to pass mathematics with 80%, and which is, I think, also an 80% at A level. And then you need a minimum. I think the minimum that you could try to, if you do want to get into XI and maybe the exam just didn't go so well for you, I think the minimum that you could try to do is 75%. But let me just say, like, I don't think they take that many XI students just because of the dropout rate. The dropout rate is extremely high. So just try to get your 80% and to get in easily and quickly. If you're getting a 90%, I think that's almost an automatic acceptance. So yeah, and so that's the first requirement, an 80% pass in mathematics. Then the second requirement, I'm not sure about the matric system. I didn't do my my high school in South Africa. I didn't do English language for A level, but I did do AS level, and I think I got 92%. So the second requirement is a pass in English. You need to have at least 80% again in English language, and this is not IGCSE, mind you. IGCSE, nobody cares about what you got in IGCSE. I've actually realized that now in university that you can apply to university with your IGCSEs. However, that is not the biggest requirement, because the stuff that you learned in IGCSE, that is baby stuff compared to the A-level stuff that you learn that you need to apply in university. So what you got in IGCSE doesn't matter anymore. It's over. What you need to, if you got 9 A stars in IGCSE, or what comes before matric, whatever comes before matric. I didn't do my university in South Africa, so I don't really know what comes before matric, but whatever comes before matric, I think it's year 10, I think. Year 10 and is equivalent to IGCSE O levels. Whatever you got in O levels, that doesn't matter anymore. Whether you got 9 A stars, 10 A stars, 12 A stars, even if you were that much of a nerd. Whatever you got in A level, it doesn't, in IGCSE, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is what you're going to get in matric and A level. That's what's essentially going to get you into university. Okay, so yeah, you need an 80% pass in mathematics and an 80% pass in English, whether it's A-level English or matric English, A-level maths or matric maths. But yeah, that's what you need. You can definitely go do your research again, like I said, on the UCT website. When I applied to get into UCT was not actually my first option. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't actually planning on coming to South Africa, but then after really looking and researching the specific type of degree that I wanted to do, I realized that this is one of the best places to do XI in the world. Okay, it's not just in Africa but in the world. So I'm definitely very grateful that I'm doing XI at UCT, because it's definitely one of the best places to be doing XI in the world. But yeah, okay, looking at the requirements for the UK and America, when I did apply to the UK, I got into a couple of universities in the UK. One of the universities that I did get into the UK with actuarial science, which is one of the top 10 in the UK, was London School of Economics and Political Science, LSE, for those of you that know it. That's definitely one of the very good universities that I would recommend you to go to if you want to do XI. There were also a couple of other ones that I did get into as well, but then the rankings, I think when you're looking at the degree that you want to do, you need to look at the ranking of that specific degree across the globe, not the ranking of the university. Because what I saw when I looked at LSE, I was like, okay, LSE is top 20 universities in the world, I think, or top 50, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I definitely have to go there because it's top 50 in the world. When you look at their program in actuarial science, you realize that, okay, wait, but their degree is only ranked top 100 in the world, but then the degree at UCT is ranked number 4 in the world. So that's why you need to really look at whether you're going into law or engineering. You need to really look at what is that degree actually ranked at in the world, as opposed to, is that university a good degree. Also, there's also this bias that I want to go overseas. I want to go to America, I want to be studying in New York or something like that. You might be in New York, but your university or your degree is ranked top 500, top 1,000 in the world. There are almost over 100,000 universities in the world, and just because you're overseas doesn't mean that that university is top tier. So I think that when you're applying, and if you specifically for actuarial science, I think definitely just the degree in itself, yes, it's very employable, but you need to look at that degree ranking across the globe and in which city that you're going to be and which university that you're going to be in. Another reason why I would say that you should come to do AXA in UCT is because of exemptions. Now, I did not know this before when I was applying for AXA, and I am very happy to be making this YouTube video because this is something that I would have definitely wanted somebody to tell me before I got into this degree, that when you are studying, there are things called exemptions, right? So what an exemption is basically, once you get your actuarial science degree, you are not actually qualified to be an actuary. Okay, so if you get an undergraduate degree, a first class in actuarial science, you are not an actuary. All you do is hold a degree in actuarial science. In order for you to become an actuary, you need to pass your board exams, of which I think there's 11 board exams now. There are 11 board exams currently in order to qualify to become an actuary. I'm not sure, it changes every year. My aunt told me that there used to be 16 or 15. I'm not sure how many there are this year anymore, but I'm not really looking too much about board exams yet because that's far off in the future. But just know that before you become an actuary, you have to do board exams. So what you need to do first of all is try to get as many exemptions as you can. So when you're applying for a university into actuarial science, you need to see, does that university offer exemptions? Because if that university does not offer exemptions, it's going to be extremely difficult for you after you have finished your degree and you're trying to get your board exams. So in our first year in UCT XI, they offered us exemptions, of which I think there was an exemption for economics, accounting, maths, and statistics. So economics and accounting, you have to get 60% and above, and maths and stats, you have to get 70% and above in order to get your exemptions. I think there were 2 exemptions for first year XI, and then I think those will then go on into the future. One day when you want to write your board exams now, instead of writing that first board exam, I think you've got your exemptions now, so you're exempted from writing that board exam, if you get what I mean. Try to apply to a university where you can get as many exemptions as you can. For example, UCT, it gives you complete exemptions, it gives you a lot of exemptions, so that's another reason why I would apply to UCT. I didn't know this until I was actually here, so I'm actually very privileged to be here where there are exemptions. I'm not sure about University of Pretoria, UJ, Steelies and stuff like that, but I'm sure those all top universities do offer exemptions. So try to apply to a university where they do give exemptions if you can. That's one thing I wish I had known. I know a lot of people always ask me the subjects that they do or the subjects that they would recommend that you should do if you want to get into actuarial science. I think definitely, like I said, mathematics, definitely IGCSE maths, AS level maths and A level maths, or mathematics all the way through high school until matric. You need your maths, guys. I can't stress this enough. When you get into first year, you do MAM 1000, which is a very heavily core based mathematics course. There's also MAM 1002, MAM 1015, MAM 1010. So yeah, these are just different variations of maths, but when you get into actuarial science specifically, you get into MAM 1000, which I believe is definitely the hardest course for maths in first year. So you need to have that foundation of AS or A-level maths. Like for example, with Cambridge maths, which is the one that I did, so I can relate to that one specifically. With A-level maths for Cambridge, we do complex numbers, we do differentiation, we do integration, we do just a lot of hard maths in A-level. But what I would recommend is that you actually focus and actually do well in that A-level course that you're doing for maths, because when you get into first year XI, you're going to go over those complex numbers again, you're going to do differentiation again, you're going to do integration again, and it's good. It will put you ahead of a lot of people if you understand those core subjects and those core, those core topics very well. So if you are doing AS or A-level maths right now, I advise you to pull up your socks and, especially if you want to get into XI, I advise you to focus. Even if you're doing matric, if you're doing further maths in the matric, I advise you to focus on the work that you're doing and try to understand it now while you still have time, because XI is a very heavily based degree. You're going to be doing computer science, you're going to be doing evidence-based management, economics, accounting, financial risk. There's going to be a lot in first year. So for you to be able to get your maths correct, to get your maths well, you need to at least understand the stuff that you did when you're still in high school. So definitely focus and try to do your best in your A-level or your matric in order for you to get a really good result and for you to shine more than other students when you're applying, and for you to understand and generally make your first year easier than it will be. The question is, what if you don't get into XI, but it's something that you do want to do? You definitely want to become an actuary, but then what if you don't make it into first year, or they don't pick you, or they shortlist you or something? So the closest degree to actuarial science is analytics. What analytics is the closest degree to actuarial science here at UCT. A lot of people actually get into analytics and then switch to XI in their second year or in their third year. It's basically the whole actuarial science degree, except it doesn't have financial risk, which is the core module of XI BUS 1003H. If you want to search up that, just search up that code at UCT. So financial risk, right, is basically learning about, how can I say this? Financial risk is, I think, the basis of going into insurance, I think, or managing risk and, managing financial risk. It's basically what the name says it is. It's financial risk, calculating, time values, calculating, I don't even know. I think I'll put a picture of just what it is. You're gonna see it's a whole lot of maths, but yeah, that's basically the core of actuarial science. That is probably what I would say was the hardest course for me in first year. I hated financial risk, but it's definitely something that is going to come with you all the way throughout your XI course. Financial risk, then you go into financial mathematics. So financial risk is the core of XI, and if you do get into analytics, you're basically doing XI without financial risk. So you've got everything else, like you've got your maths, you've got your statistics, your economics, your accounting, everything else that you would have in actuarial science, except you don't have your financial risk. So if you do want to apply for analytics, let's say you're not ready for actuarial science yet, I think you can apply for analytics. Or if you do apply for actuarial science and you don't get accepted into XI, you can default to analytics, then switch in your second year or in your third year. So that's definitely another option for you if you want to get into XI. I hope I've answered a lot of the minimum questions or minimum requirements that people have been asking me. A lot of people have been asking me the requirements. Like I said, let's try to aim for 80% in maths and 80% for English. If you want to definitely just get in automatically, you're looking at 85%. Just try to push as much as you can, because it's a very competitive degree. And then the types of degree that I said, there's a BCom, there's a business science, specializing in actuarial science, or specializing in actuarial science and quantitative finance. And then the subjects that you can do for A-level or for matric, you can do economics, accounting, mathematics, statistics, computer science. Those are the top 5 that I would recommend you to be doing. Oh yes, and critical thinking if you are doing Cambridge. So yeah, those are the top 5 that I would recommend you to do. I don't think there's anything else. I think that's basically what I would say for how to get into actuarial science. If there are any questions that you guys would like to ask me, you can definitely leave them down, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, or you can email me if you want to be formal. I reply to all of my emails, I reply to all of my comments. So definitely leave a comment down below if this video was beneficial to you, if it did help you, or if there's anything else that you would want you know, even if you want me to help you to, you know, with the process, or if you want me to answer any questions for you privately, I'm more than willing to do that, guys. So if you want me to answer anything, just leave your question down below, or just reach out to me even on Instagram. I will definitely get around to answering that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like I said, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely be back with some more videos for you guys. I love you all so much. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Love you guys. Mwah.